Okay.
Hello and welcome to Jabberjaw. I'm your host, Jessica Dawson Collier, and with me, as always, is Tyson Wheeler Dynas and Matthew David Smith. Guys, welcome.
Hey,
We're back.
we're back.
Yeah.
Ah! Suck on that energy.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Got so much of it.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
We do. Oh,
Do a cartwheel in the background. Do a flip off the bed.
All right. For the people that watch right now, we should point out that Jess has a new microphone. It looks like possibly a spaceship to me. I'm not entirely sure, but it looks good.
It's a little tripod. I'm calling it Kevin Hart.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, I've been on a Kevin Hart kick, and I don't know if I should tell you guys this because I know I should listen to better comedians. But I like him. Like, I'm kind of sold on him after the roast of Tom Brady, which is a plug. So
I have not watched that. But we can talk about it. Yeah,
we should talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I haven't watched it either, but like you really don't have to watch it at this point. It's
That's
just
right,
part of the.
It's everywhere. His
it's
apologies everywhere to his
It's-
family.
oh my
Yeah,
God.
you get the gist.
What an idiot, by the way. Like,
Oh, no kidding.
I can't believe they made fun of me and my marriages. Oh my God. Oh,
Yeah,
it hurt
right?
my kids. Yeah, meanwhile,
Dumbass.
his
Yeah.
fucking branding is hurt. I'm like, give me a break. It's a fucking roast. All right, just calm down.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just dislike the guy even more now. Just like
Same.
just
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
Not that there was hope for redemption with him, but that
You know,
yeah.
he's gonna be the lead analyst for Fox NFL this year. You know, and
No,
God.
he is not.
so,
Really?
like he'll be on every game that's like the main game for Fox. You know, like, and it used to be the
Ugh.
guy that was I can't remember his name, but he was really good. I liked him. He was a former tight end, and I really but he knew that if Tom Brady came in, that he would lose his job, and he was like, "Fuck, this sucks." You know,
Here we go. Yep, it's
So-
happening.
whatever. That's all right. As long as we got our.
I hope he sucks. Hope he's like worse than Jon Stewart was. Wasn't it Jon Stewart? Wasn't it Jon Stewart that did
No,
like
it was
who was it?
Dennis.
Dennis
Miller.
Leary. Oh, that's right.
Dennis
Or not,
Miller.
Dennis Miller. That's right.
Actually,
Oh,
to
yeah.
be
Dennis
fair,
Miller was really?
He
For like a hot minute, yeah.
he did
No shit. That's
he
funny.
did Monday Night Football with the guy that we all like. I forget his name. Anyway, the other color commentary guy hated Dennis Leary. You could tell. You could just listen to it. And he was like, because Dennis Leary was making jokes like Dennis Leary. Dennis Leary. Dennis
Sorry,
Miller.
that was my fault. I put that in
No,
your
that's
head. It's yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
Sorry.
I actually enjoyed it a lot. It really put a weird spin on everything. But he would make a reference to a 1921 football player, and it didn't land.
Oh, I totally remember watching
Yeah.
it with you because like you like made me watch it. You're like, look how uncomfortable this bastard. Because that was like early 2000s, wasn't it? Like
It was,
03,
yeah.
04, something like that.
Yeah. I probably did make you watch it. Sorry.
No, it was fun to watch. I liked Dennis Miller back then. Like he's still like then everything went downhill for Dennis Miller after
Yeah,
that.
Yes, it did.
Tragic,
Yes.
like
It's too bad.
Yeah, it
Oh,
really
well.
was.
Well, he had some good work while he was doing SNL.
He
He
did.
did. He really
Actually,
did.
his show on HBO was quite good too. I always really enjoyed it.
I did too. Yeah.
And he did hire Norm Macdonald as a writer, based on one joke for his Dennis Miller
Oh,
live
shit.
show on HBO. Yeah, based on one
Remember
joke.
what the joke was?
Wow.
No, but I know that he was supposed to put a packet together, that's industry biz. He's supposed to put a packet together to get hired as comedy
Inside
writer.
baseball. Yeah.
Yeah, and basically, he couldn't think of anything, so he wrote one joke and submitted it, and he got hired. So,
Oh my God.
Great story.
him and
Of course he did.
this guy Drake Sather, who was a very funny, not awful, but hardcore comedian who wrote for news radio for a while, but he killed himself like in 1995 because that's what comedians do, sadly. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, what were we talking about?
We're just bringing so much energy to the show.
Right,
this week
right,
that
right,
It's
right.
hard to keep track of all
This
of
is
the
this is all
topics.
just a mere acknowledgement that we're doing the show right now. This isn't even content. This is just
Amazing.
All right, this is
We've
just
covered like 20 topics in less than 5 minutes,
I
guys.
know,
Come
I
on.
know.
This is
But
what happens when we get feedback, people. Uh,
It's your fault, not ours.
that's right.
it's your fault. Oh,
Guys, what have we been up to? Do a little round robin. Who's going first?
Matt's been doing stuff.
yeah, I've
I
been doing
know.
stuff.
Smith,
Yeah, it
you've
has
been
been a
traveling.
busy summer already, and I don't think it's actually even summer yet. I officially consider Memorial Day the start of summer. I don't care when it officially is. Memorial
Nope, I'm
Day
with you
is the
1000%. Yep.
start of
That's
summer.
fair. Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to that. It's early this year, which is kind of messed up. It's really
It
early,
is.
but
It is, yeah. Yeah.
but it just doesn't feel like it because usually it was that always that cap. It's like my favorite time of year, just because I still have those horrors of school and the desire for summer, and
yes.
it's still like summer. So no, we went had a quick trip back to the old Hayes. We haven't talked about Hayes in a while, so we went back
It has
to
been a minute.
Hayes. Kathy and I went back to Hayes over the
Yeah, I saw
Mother's
that you
Day.
had a beef nacho supreme.
I certainly did. I certainly did.
Son of a
I went
bitch.
to only
Sorry,
twice.
Ray, I love you.
But we only went to did Taco Shop twice, did Grande once, and
Whoa.
saw Kurt. Talked to Kurt for a bit.
Oh, really?
So yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
And so talked to him for a minute. Told him we were going to be back over the 4th.
Yes.
And I had trying to recall. I had a beef nacho supreme and a 6-pack of hard tacos. Got through the beef nacho supreme. I think it's good to have friends when they recognize you, because it was one of the better beef nacho supremes I've had.
Oh,
They hook it up. They hook it up.
It was.
Yep,
they do. Like
Mhm.
it's just that little extra bit of love. And oh my god! So I didn't touch the 6-pack of tacos. So I stuck those in my parents' fridge and dined on those cold, which are not great, but it's still taco shop, and man
Does
in the
the
desert.
job.
So
Yeah.
it does the job. And then the second trip I had the super combo, which was excellent.
The super combo is great. Yeah.
It was a good trip. Got to see
Taco
my
Shop,
mom.
you need to sponsor us already. I'm
I
going to go
think
off
so.
on a tangent here, but
I think so.
we've been plugging the shit out of you, and we have at least 20 listeners from Hayes, so giddy up.
Wasn't busy either. Like usually like around, because it was Hayes High graduation this weekend, which is the one of the preeminent
Busier
events.
times, yeah.
Busier times. We just noticed, like, why are all these people outside, like, enjoying? And it's like, oh yeah, it's graduation weekend. They're all in barbecues. Like, it's very weird to see, like, that, because people don't ever go outside. Like, and there's like, you don't just sit out, but then all these people, it's like, what's going on? It's Hayes High graduation. So
They don't go
graduates.
outside, but I've noticed, Smith, at least around where our parents live in that neighborhood, there are a lot of people walking. There are a lot of people like doing like the speed walking thing.
There are. Oh, that's
or running, or
that's what
both.
that neighborhood's known for. Yeah, I think it's really only that neighborhood for whatever reason. But those people are movers.
Oh,
and
it is.
shakers. Like,
yeah,
I saw a kid on a one wheel, like those one wheel, like big, balancing skateboard things. A kid on that, having
fucking
a great
terrifying.
time.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good trip. We just parents put in a pool a couple years ago and just kind of hung out in the pool. Got pruny, listened to some yacht rock. And it was a good trip. Then we got back. I flew Hayes for the first time.
Really?
So
have you guys?
How was your experience?
It was quite lovely. It was. We actually drove to Chicago and then just got a direct flight. But it was like an hour and 45-minute flight on a little plane. It was pretty good. It was a positive experience all over. However, they are discontinuing the flight to Chicago now. So once I've noticed that it's a good flight,
Chicago's nothing. I mean, why even waste your time with Chicago? I mean, Hayes, that's a thing.
Hayes has it.
Hayes has it. So now it's exclusively going through Denver now. So you're still in good shape if you need to come back.
Thank God. That would be bad.
You're still in good shape.
Yeah.
Is it still on one of those? Is it still on one of those? Because I've only done it once, and it was when I lived in Florida, and it was one of those planes that just had one seat on each side of the thing, and it was loud as shit.
No, it wasn't like a turbo. I have flown on like a turboprop before, like going to like the Bahamas. I think usually you're on one of those, and those are a whole other level of scary. But this is like I forget what the carrier is, but like what always makes me nervous about those is like those little planes and like those little like regional like hops, like those have like the starter pilots, like that's where you start your career off at, and so you really are kind of learning
they're like
along
12 years old. Yeah.
Yes, right, and that's also where like the the flight attendants are also that's also kind of the starting place for the flight attendant. So you're taking a little bit more risk, I think, but it was fine. It was fine. People got to learn. They got to learn. I'm willing to help out.
But it still makes me nervous when you're sitting right behind the pilot and they're going through the instruction manual and a couple things, and I'm like, what?
Well, it's funny because both flight attendants, when they were doing the little spiel, because I'm used to like Southwest, and those Southwest people like practice that shit in front of a mirror.
Yeah. Yep.
Some of them have jokes.
Oh my god, yeah, they should be on Broadway. Some of them,
they really will. I'm sure that's where they wanted to be, and but no, they were reading like the flight safety instructions like off their iPhone, and I was like, all right, this is like 5 lines. Like you people should have this shit down by now. But no, so anyway, we got back on Wednesday, and then we went to see Violent Femmes.
Yeah, that looked cool.
Oh, that did look cool.
Thursday.
Yeah.
They played their first and second record, second first, first last, back to back.
A lot of avant-garde instruments. I noticed.
Yes,
pictures.
Yeah. The guy had like the bass for some of the songs was like. It had like this big, like hollow box kind of on top of it, like was just kind of a resonator kind of thing, I'm assuming. And then they had a big, like 7-foot like saxophone up there, which they played at some point.
Wow.
There was like a Weber grill as part of the kit.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. And also like during what's the hand song? Blister in the Sun. They literally just had this dude you could just see off the side. You could just see his hands. You couldn't see who it was. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but just doing that just on a wooden box, which was kind of neat. So it was a really good show, but like
awesome.
We were prepared to be there for a while. I forgot how short those albums are. Like they're only like 30, maybe 35 minutes a pop. And so they like blew through the first, very little chatter. They're not a chattery band. So it was quick.
I kind of like that.
I looked at the lead singer and I was like, is that a lady? What is it? I felt bad for saying that, but like, I mean, I was like, who's that lady singing the song?
Who's that lady?
But I will say it was like half of the instruments looked like dolly paintings. I was like, this is nuts. Like, yeah, but
it sounded great. I mean,
I'm sure it did.
I've never seen them before. It was the first time I've seen them, so it was a really good show.
What did they use the Weber grill for? Because I was fascinated with that picture.
I don't know. They must have. I assumed they were using it as like a symbol at some point, or just kind of a click. But I didn't. It was really hard to see. So I didn't I think Kathy pointed it out to me, and I was like, "Oh, there is a Weber grill over there." So, but yeah, great show. And then we headed to Tennessee. There's a cabin in a little place called Byrdstown, Tennessee, which is right across from the Kentucky border.
Byrdstown. Nice.
And this was our third trip there. It's a nice big cabin has like a river that runs through the back, and there's a fire pit.
I love
that. It was fun. Yeah, it was a nice little vacation. We love that spot. It's just very we can't really decide on what kind of serenity we like. We can't really decide on like we want to be near a lake, or do we want to have like our own little pond lake. But now we're kind of back on river, because like river is like kind of, it's nice having a river. But no, and we just did the camping thing. Kathy made a ton of food for us, which was delicious, and didn't have to think a lot, which was
that's good.
So it was a nice vacation.
I love that.
So it was a good trip, and we got back on Tuesday. So
very nice.
Damn, mover and a shaker. It's amazing.
Absolutely. It's
Are you exhausted from just like traveling so much, or
not really? Good? It's pretty easy. No, I mean it was like only like it's about a 4.5 hour drive, so it didn't really feel like.
It's not bad.
Oh no, so it's a little hard to get back into work mode yesterday.
Oh, I bet. Oh, those are the best vacations. Freaking love it.
So nice. Yes, doing nothing. Just we didn't leave the whole time. Oh, we did. No, I take that back. We did leave this time, and we went to a lavender farm.
Oh, they have lavender farms.
That's amazing. I love lavender.
Yeah, no, it was this guy, like they were like, it's just this couple had this little, like, I think it was like 10 acres or something like that, maybe 20 acres. And they had a little bit of lavender. It wasn't a lot of lavender. I'm guessing a little bit of lavender goes a long way. I was expecting fields of lavender. But I learned about the 316 different species of lavender. I learned that there's a culinary lavender, while there is also a what do they call a scent lavender, which is more about the essence, I guess, of the lavender.
Sure. Yeah.
And then they had like 3 Clydesdale horses, and which was
Nice.
neat. And they had this old like miniature horse that was like 43 years old, and looked it. But Marie, the people we went with, their toddler got to ride the horse, and they had this gigantic bull, which they was like apparently super chill. This freaks me out, and Tyson, you'll remember why I kind of freaked out about during this, but like he's like, oh, this bull's super calm. It's like the biggest baby in the world. And so like they sat down with a family portrait and like just sat on the bull. And like the bull
Oh,
was super
jeez.
chill. But I remembered what this whole time, I did not sit on it and I didn't say anything at the time, but like I just remember like This American Life, that the documentary that they did on Showtime like 20 years ago. There's a story about this dude who clones a bull, and like it was supposed to be the most gentle, sweetest bull in the world, and it winds up fucking that dude up. And I was that whole time because it reminded me of that like very like docile, just like, oh, this bull's just chilling. I'm like, he's gonna have his moment one day, and I don't want to be here to see it.
Yeah.
Ain't no amount of lavender gonna fix that shit. So, but no, I had a cute little gift shop, and dude was really nice. We're like there for like almost like 2 hours, I think, but he just took us to a tour and told
Nice.
us, everything there is to know about lavender, and assorted lavender products. So if
It's
you make it
purple.
to Birdstown, it's purple. Yeah.
It's purple. Thanks, Tice.
So if you make it to Birdstown, highly recommend the Lavender
I
Farm.
want to go. I really want to go. I have so many lavender products. It like relaxes
Really?
me. It helps with my
Oh,
anxiety.
well, you
Yeah.
should go.
So
You should go.
There are
yeah,
big,
It was
big, there are big lavender fields in Seattle area, up in that
Oh,
area,
okay.
like big ones.
Can you roll around in the fields,
That's
Smith, at
that,
the
that,
farm? Is
that
that
They really didn't have. It was weird because they really didn't have a whole lot of fields of it. Because apparently this was after, again, new obtained knowledge. So I'm glad I went. But after about 5 or 6 years, your typical lavender plant will stop being productive. It gets just way
oh,
too woody and rooty. And so they and so
Rudy?
they basically have to replant them. So they were in kind of kind of a refreshment cycle, I think. So there was
you
like
Okay.
probably less lavender.
you retain
Uh,
a lot of information from this.
it
I
was a
love
long
it.
tour, and there were very
It does
little
sound
other.
long.
There was like no, I mean there was no cell phones out, so there was very little distraction. It's amazing what you pick up
That's
from an
true.
old man just kind of walking you around and telling you about stuff.
That's true.
I know it was very nice. It was a good trip. They had bees. They had like honey, so you got like lavender honey because they
Oh.
pollinate the lavender, and so
Uh-huh.
it was fun. It was a lot more fun than as I was woken up on that whatever day that was. I'm like, hey, you want to go to Lavender Farm? I, obviously with the sincerest amount of energy possible, was like, absolutely, I do. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. You won't regret it.
All
So,
right.
yep.
Good sport.
Yeah.
Jonas would be like, "Do I have to?" No, he would probably be game for that. That sounds pretty fun.
So yep. So really no travel for like a whole month, I think. So yeah, just
Oh.
time to clean this house up.
How about you, Doss? What have you been doing?
Uh,
Moving in,
well,
obviously.
yeah, we're in. Jonas is doing little things around the house. He built before I headed to Vegas, like literally the day before I headed to Vegas, a kitty condo on
Oh,
the deck for Leoben because there's a little dog door that goes out to the deck. And so, yeah, he fashioned this Amazon like $200 thing so that our cat can still go outside because that's what he loved to do at our old apartment was like go out on the balcony. And of course, he was scared of it at first because Lebanon is very timid around new things and fears change for the first 24 hours and then he gets into it. So he's really liking it a lot. There are so many like hawks and ducks and all kinds of things that will fly like right past it. And just to see him freak out about it is amazing. I mean, their wingspan is bigger than his little ass. So that's been fun. And yeah, I've just been doing a liver cleanse since Vegas.
yeah.
No joke.
Yeah, it
Thanks,
was.
Dose.
I would say it
That's
was.
another plug this week.
I don't know about this. If Matt notices, but like usually we get up. We usually get a lot of like updates. We got a lot of updates the first night, and then radio silence for like the rest of the week. And I was like, oh my god, what is happening in Vegas? Like,
That's pretty much how it went. So we went hard the first night and then it just went downhill from there. It was just like, okay, we live in Vegas now. We need to drink water. Uh it's just one of those things like what time of day is it? What day is it? Like we definitely got into that sort of mode. I was like,
Okay.
where's my phone at a couple times? I don't know. This time I definitely gambled a lot more than I was expecting. I was up like $300 and then lost all that. It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I do not recommend going to Vegas for a week. A week is way too long. You got to go for like 3 days tops and then you're out.
Yeah.
But lesson learned. Glassman had a little ladies piano conference going on there. So a lot of the time, Ryan and I, one of our good friends from New York, we were just hanging out. He lost a lot of money. Sorry, Rye. I probably shouldn't say that, but he is a gambler now. Him and Glassman will go to Atlantic City. And like part of the reason we stayed at Caesars was because she got this awesome room comped that overlooked the whole pool area.
That's always a red flag.
Yeah.
Oh, huge red flag. I mean, you guys know her gambling history. I'm not going to put it out there into the airwaves, but just ask her sometime. It's amazing. But yeah, we really did have a good time. Ate some really good food. The food scene in Vegas now is fucking fantastic. Like, I don't know how many people know about it. I feel like everybody knows about it because it's all over the place now, but it is good. And that the Sphere is very cool to look at. Next time I go, I definitely want to get up in there, see a show, do the whole thing, but that was pretty cool to see.
So
Feel like paying $900 to see fish this time around?
You know what? After Drew Carey's description of it, I might.
I might too, actually.
I actually missed this. I did not hear that.
Oh my God, are you serious, Smith?
Yeah,
Dude,
no.
after the show, just Google it, Drew Carey fish, and you will laugh your ass off. It's amazing.
It's old school Drew Carey. It's very good.
Yeah.
So like we're going to Vegas in November, and Beth hates Vegas, but I was like, look, there's a lot of places we'll do we'll do half food, half whatever. And so she found a restaurant that is a blackout experience.
What is it called?
I can't remember. She didn't tell me.
Right.
I could remember, but she didn't tell me what it was called.
Text me.
And she basically the lights are all. Remember that episode of the League?
The League, yeah. I was just thinking about that.
Oh God!
So apparently they're doing that here too. One of the restaurants here just announced like a month ago they're doing that. That's exactly what popped into my head was that episode of the League, and
I was like, so do you just fumble around like with the food and like like put your fingers in? I assume scrambled eggs. It's like like here like a haunted house. Like close your eyes and what does this feel like? Those are eyeballs. No, so I have no idea how it works. But she is like, we got to go do this, and I was like, well, you know what? We should. That's a weird thing to do. So anyway, she's been looking at all of it. I know we're gonna go to Morimoto's for sure.
Got to go to Morimoto's. Got to do Super Frico too if you like Italian food.
Ooh, okay. I'll mention that to her.
They have a DJ in the restaurant. They have dancers. They have people all kinds of dancers. They'll dance on the tabletops. They make tableside fresh mozzarella, guys.
Oh my, yeah.
It is an experience. That alone, I was like, that was worth the trip. It's the second time I've been there, and it is so good.
Text that to B for me.
I will for sure. Yeah, I'll send all the recos. There's so much Gordon Ramsay shit there too.
I know we ate at a Gordon Ramsay thing in one of the casinos, and it was fine. I feel the same way about we ate at a Guy Fiera place in Napa, and it wasn't fine, but it was like if you like that, I mean that's fine. It was all.
Do you have the trash can nachos?
It was just it was like they say it was like Cajun seasoned, and I was like, well, I didn't realize you would just fucking dredge it in like it was like they dredged it in spice and basically like wood chips. I mean it was awful, but whatever, we did. So I don't want to bag on Guy Fieri. It's fine. I know he probably doesn't
Chef guy, aka Chef guy.
Thanks for that picture, by the way. That was great.
Yeah.
I got a picture.
I
her
want to
kissing.
dislike him so much, but I can't. Like, I just like I will get sucked into his show. Just
I
like,
know,
Oh,
me too.
Triple D, I'm all
oh my
about
god,
it.
I
I
am
get
too.
sucked
Like,
into, yeah.
I
Oh, and
know.
he produces all these amazing like cooking like you know like where they fight against each other, like these cooking
Oh, the
shows.
cooking competition
Yeah,
shows,
and
yeah.
he
Yeah.
does a
Like
ton of them.
grocery games and shit like that,
And they're
yeah.
and like the new ones are really good. Like they did this one right now, and I this is a plug that I wasn't going to plug, but I will go ahead and plug it. It's called it's 24 hours, and they keep these chefs awake for 24 hours and do 18 different things, 18 different what do you call them? Challenges over 24 hours. And
Oh,
they're
shit.
getting tired and they're getting stupid
Cranky,
and
yeah.
yeah, so it's nuts. Like it's really nuts. So yeah, so I mean, he's kind of got it going on. So good for him, whatever. But anyway, I mean, if he would have stopped and give me a high five, maybe I'd feel totally different about him.
E
Like
except that he didn't, and his entourage crowded around him because they thought
I was
Tyson was a threat.
that is true. That is true. To be fair.
One of my favorite memories in life. God, that was funny.
Uh,
But also, if you want to read something very funny, I know last time we talked, we were talking shit on Taylor Swift's album reviews.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
reviews of Guy Fieri's restaurant in New York from
Oh,
like 2010 when
Oh
he
yeah.
opened it. Ugh, so good.
Yeah,
So funny. They go off on donkey sauce, like which is like his like claim to fame in the best way. The most articulate takedown I've ever read in my life. It's amazing.
that was a dark night of the soul for that guy.
He was not doing good after that.
No, he
Yeah.
wasn't.
No. I was worried about him.
He took some time off. Um,
Yeah.
makes more
But that's what
fucking
I've
money.
been up to. Tice, what have you been up to? What bands have you seen lately?
what have
You
I seen
son of a
lately?
bitch.
I don't know if I've ever told you guys, but I went and saw Slater Kenny and uh, uh, Pale Hound, and they were quite good.
I think you did, but you didn't go into detail. How was Pale Hound?
They were great. I mean, they were
Because I was
really
supposed
good.
to go and I didn't.
They were. She was great. Her band is really good. They flew in. That was their first show of the tour with Slater Kinney, and so they were all discombobulated, and like they were just trying to get their shit, from the airport to there,
Mm-hmm.
and they were very funny and thanking everyone for making it all happen,
That's
and
cool.
yeah, so they were cool, and they were so funny because it's like a bunch of you know ladies, and they're all and so like it was like they're like, obviously we're Slater Kinney fans. And look at how we're dressed. Like it's so funny. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, it was good, and I went to see the Found Footage Festival last Friday with.
Hey, we're going to see that here in a few
Nice.
weeks. Nice.
Here's a weird thing about it. There's an opening act.
Interesting.
Now
What?
I don't know if it'll be there at your show, but he flew in from Chicago, and he's a different guy that does different things like he does, and he does different found footage stuff, and
Oh, okay.
he did a I'd say about 10 minutes, and it was pretty good. I
Cool.
must admit, yeah. Um, so anyway, like so that was fun. I took my friend Seth, who he and I haven't been out collectively together in like 25 years. This is Seth from the Record. Um, he lives in Kansas City now.
Okay.
Oh.
The Seth, and so it's funny. Like he was telling me that like because that Bring Back Joel record is on Amazon Music and whatever, like all the people that he works with, he's a manager now. Listen to that record to check out what he's to check out his rock and roll moment, his rock star
Right.
moment. So it was pretty funny. Anyway, we had a good time. Um, and what else?
Cake. Cake.
Oh, we did see.
Cake.
Yeah, we did see Cake. Sally and I went to Cake,
Bastard.
my sister, and it was really good. Cake guy getting a little weird. Lead singer, he's starting to spout off, little close to like anarchy, but like
Oh, really?
yeah, he's
I was
getting.
wondering what you meant by that. If you were like anarchy or like right wing batshit fucking.
I wouldn't say it's it's just his, like he reminds me of like a crazy person from Vermont who has a stage and can talk about whatever he wants. That live free or die kind of attitude.
Yeah.
And like, but I mean, it was still funny because Sally was. I mean, we were all laughing at some of the shit that he said. But one of the things they do at cake shows is every show they give away a tree. So I don't know if you guys know this.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
Wow.
they send their roadie out to a nursery at every town they go to, and they come back and they bring a tree. And then, if you can guess what kind of tree it is, you can get it if you promise to plant it, take a picture of it, and if you go to their website, you can see a map of all their trees across the world where they've handed
That's
out
cool.
trees and they think.
That is cool. I like that.
But he's like, so I mean, I want you to be serious. Like when the girl was up there, she guessed. The second girl guessed. Last time I saw him, it took like 15 minutes. Nobody could figure out what kind of fucking tree it was. And anyway, like she guessed it in the second one. It was a fig tree of some sort. And
Oh, okay.
she came up and he was like, "Now, are you going to plant this and take pictures of it and send it to us?" And she's like, "I will." And he's like, "Well, where are you going to plant it?" She's like, "Well, we just bought a house. So I'll plant it in our house." And he's like, "Great." He's like, "Because, we were in Europe, or we were in England, and we gave away a tree, and that girl never planted it, never did anything. And hopefully she died in an accident on the way home from the concert. I
Oh,
mean,
dear.
that's the only way that I can think that it's okay that she never, yeah, like that's the kind of level of attitude that he was throwing
All
at
right.
the audience. So, so it was a mix. It was a mix between like he's like everybody's good energy, sing, because they do that Ben Folds thing where they divide up the audience and they each sing a part, kind of thing. And
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
God,
and
I want to see them still.
really fun show.
Jealous.
But
Yeah.
actually,
Did
the thing,
Sally have a good time? Did
oh,
she
she did.
enjoy it?
She
Yeah.
did. She was like, "Can this guy sing?" And I'm like, "Just give him a second," like because he kind of sings at a low register, you
Mhm.
know. But as he keeps going, it gets higher and stronger. And I will say one of the things I liked most about the show was after the break, because they just do two sets and there was no opener. They did
Mhm.
4 or 5 songs that were all deep cuts, and they were excellent.
Oh,
It was, yeah,
nice.
like I mean, it was really nice. So anyway, it was good. It was a very good show. Thank you for reminding me. I almost forgot about that show.
I could
Um,
tell. I'm
I could,
jealous. That's why I wanted to bring it up because I'm extremely jealous.
what was the other thing that happened? I don't know. Nothing happened really. Um, yeah, so that's what I've been up to lately, um,
Lately.
lately. I can't think of really anything else of note. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, there we go. 32
Solid.
minutes of fucking recap. Very
Oh
nice,
my
everybody.
god.
All right. Hey, look at
Full
that.
blast of amazing energy for your ears. You are welcome. Send us all the letters of how much you enjoyed that.
That's right. You're going to be listening to us again on your commute back home. That's what we're doing.
That's
No
okay.
more, no more single way for us. Not for this
No way.
podcast.
No way. No
No,
No,
way.
sirree.
never again.
Never again. Oh boy. All right. Are we ready for some headlines?
Let's
Get
Yeah.
do
in
it.
some headlines. Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it.
Headline of the week.
Okay, this is from Vanity Fair. I don't know. This is when was this? This is May 6th, so it's been a minute. This is the headline. Kristi Noem bizarrely suggests that if she were president, the first thing she'd do is kill Joe Biden's dog. Commander, say hello to Cricket for me. Okay, I don't know
Oh,
what the hell
dear.
that's all about. I know she's
That is,
doubling down.
God.
I know she's
that's
doubling
just,
down on her dog thing, but
oh, God.
Ugh. Gross.
anyway, she's a special lady.
Yeah,
She
Um,
she
is.
is.
okay, so this is gonna get into some science stuff because I went on a jag with weird science shit this week. They did capture new footage of a giant squid earlier this week, or
Ooh.
actually earlier last week, and it is awesome. But I could not find it. I couldn't find an article about it. I saw it on the news. It looked amazing. Like it's in color. You can see the red. Yeah, basically, they had like a little piece of food, hanging off of like one of the deep sea things, and it came down, and it was like whap, and then it's huge. It's just ridiculous. Like I mean, those things are amazing. Um, I'm so glad because I've often said, and I've probably said this on the podcast before, I decided when I was 24 or so that if I made money and I had some time at the end of my life, I would go out and find one of these goddamn giant squids and capture on tape, and maybe try to stun it and put it in a thing and then let it go. Because you can't do that. But anyway,
I can verify contemporaneously that was his dream. I was like, shut the fuck up about the squid, Tyson. But no, just kept going. So it's his
I
dream.
think I've heard Smith say that at least 3 times.
To be fair, I mean, it was a goal. Anyway, and then they found a colossal squid. Oh, you guys! Oh my god! Anyway, look up colossal squid. It's amazing.
They were still hypothetical about that, weren't they? Like they hadn't ever captured footage of it way back when, had they?
They caught one. It was in McSweeney of all things, one of their hardbound books.
Really?
Yeah, and so the weird thing about colossal squids compared to giant squids, they're a little bit smaller, but instead of like just suckers on their giant things, they actually have fucking 3-inch claws on there.
Oof.
That just rip
No.
the animals apart.
Neat.
When they get, oh yeah, like
hello nightmares.
There's a reason why
exactly right.
My record. There's a reason my record company is named Colossal Squid. That's because I dream of ripping apart people. I don't know. Anyway, everything falls apart. So this is thank you. This is from Oregon.com, OregonLive.com. Rare deep sea fish washes up on Oregon beach. Okay. Anyway, that's pretty cool. But I'm going to read you something that I read in that thing. Not much is known about the species that lives in the very dark depths of the ocean, but according to the Seaside Aquarium, only females actively hunt, as the males are actually more like parasites. The male fish are 10 times smaller than females, and to survive must fuse themselves to a female. There, they lose their eyes and internal organs, the aquarium said, and get all of their nutrients from the female while providing her with a dependable source of sperm. Insert men, am I right jokes? Okay, so isn't that crazy?
I was going to say typical.
Yeah. I was going to say, yeah.
Isn't that nuts? They lose their eyes and their organs.
That's fucking, insane.
That's gross.
Oof.
Here's another one. Sharp-toothed prehistoric predator that moves like an accordion found as new species.
Ooh.
Read this too. The new species is called Rhabdinosolex latus, and it lived 425 million years ago on the deep sea floor, likely near the edge of the continental shelf. According to the study, despite being only 4 inches long, the carnivorous burrowing worm was a fearsome predator. All right, here's some nightmare fuel for you right here. They had a retractable throat that was covered in rows of sharp teeth that they would throw out to catch prey. So they would throw their throat out of their mouth that was covered in teeth and would grab something. We think they weren't.
No, thank you.
We think they weren't too picky when it came to feeding, and likely just shoved their throat out into the mud and just grabbed anything they could find. Men, am I right? They certainly make you think of the sandworm in Dune or the xenomorphs in Alien. Their bodies would have been covered in tiny armor plates and rows of backwards facing spines. This is my favorite part. Howard said, which would have been used to drag its body along the seafloor. The ring muscles of the body also would have moved in and out like an accordion to propel it forward. That's gross. Okay.
I'm calling you tonight, Tyson, when I have a fucking nightmare for real.
Okay,
and it's going to be like 2 or 3 a.m. So yeah.
Here's a different kind of nightmare. This is local Kansas City Star. Those local Kansas City Star. This has been going on locally here for a minute, so I'm just reporting on it now. Second lawsuit filed against Hereford House after employee allegedly adulterated food.
Oh, I saw this article.
Oh.
Yes.
Now, what do you mean by adulterated food?
Yeah.
Asked Tyson. A Jackson County couple who ate at Hereford House in Leawood and fell ill are suing the restaurant, saying it should be held liable for allegedly serving contaminated food to customers. McCarlan and Barbara Bishop filed a second lawsuit against the restaurant since the Johnson County District Attorney charged former Hereford House employee Jace Christian Hansen, three names, like serial killer.
Yeah.
With unlawful adulterating or contaminating food there. Hansen, 21, allegedly posted videos of himself urinating on food and rubbing food on his genitals and butt, according to court documents.
Oh, God.
Court records allege the crime occurred between March 26th and April 25th. But Hereford House later narrowed the timeline down between April 6th and 23rd. Good for you, Hereford House. Based on Hansen's statements to police. Hansen allegedly told detectives he contaminated food in more than 20 incidents, according to court documents. All right, anyway. So it's some local flavor, no pun intended.
Oh, nice.
I'm really doing
I
terrible.
feel bad for Hereford House, man. That's like they're gonna
I do too.
oh my God.
Sucks.
You just can't eat there now without thinking that, somebody
And that is one of the original locations, so that's like the worst part.
You're getting a taste of butt crack along with
I
whatever
know.
that's
No. Yeah, adultery. Yeah, I saw that article too, but the one I think I saw that in the He's post a couple weeks ago, and but they wouldn't spell out specifically what he had done. I think I was just like, okay, it's got to be like one of three things. And so I'm glad it was all three.
I assumed it was sperm because adulterating to me.
Well, that's right.
And it may have been. Who knows?
It's very possible. I mean, he did it 20 times. I have to imagine at some point he added that to his repertoire. It's just.
What have I not done yet? Yeah.
Okay. Good luck. Yeah. Just God forbid, he's only 21 too. Every fucking employee from here on to the eternity is going to Google his name. And
this is what happens when people grow up on Jackass. I think is probably
that. I think you're right. Yeah. Don't do it at work, kids. It's fine in your backyard.
Yeah.
Go to town, just not on your food.
So this last article needs a little bit of a thing behind it, a little bit of story, a little bit of provenance. So when I lived in Orlando, I was in a band, and there was this thing called Inc. 19. It was this local. It was like a free newspaper that would be at all the clubs and restaurants and whatever.
Yeah.
And they were really nice to bring back Joel. And I met the guy who was the publisher. And so I started working with him. And I used to pick up the newspapers from the press at midnight, and I would put them in my van, and I would drive all over the greater Orlando area and dump them off. It usually took until about 4 a.m. So that was one of my part-time jobs. Anyway, this guy, he eventually ended up partnering with another person, and they represented Creed, the band Creed. Now, I was not nice to Creed ever. And I was on a radio show, and I was sort of known for being kind of an asshole. In fact, I did hear that Scott Stapp knew who I was based on that stuff.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever knew that.
Yeah. So the thing is though, but his manager definitely knew who I was because we were sort of friends. And we never, ever, ever could get along on music stuff. I mean, this guy could have put Bring Back Joel out there and done something amazing, but he'd be like, well, you have to agree that AC/DC was the best rock band ever. I'd be like, what about the Replacements? And then, I was just an asshole. Anyway, so shooting my own foot. But anyway, this guy was he was a dick. He also was part of the guy that discovered Limp Bizkit because they were both out of Tallahassee. Or actually, Limp Bizkit was out of Jacksonville. Anyway, my point is that I have a long history of reveling in the loveliness that is Scott Stapp badness or Creed badness. And that leads me to this headline. Polarizing rock star gets divorced from model wife after 18 years. Creed frontman Scott Stapp and his wife are splitting up. And this is her quote. It's kind of sad. After much prayer and consideration, Jacqueline has chosen to end her 18-year marriage with Scott. It's been a long battle. That's it. I'm going to stop right there. That's my favorite part. It's been a long battle. That sounds like a good marriage, doesn't it?
Oof.
And while this isn't the future she envisioned, she wishes him the best. So anyway, that guy is crazy pants. And one time...
I was going to say, good on you, girl. Way to go.
He did...
Freedom.
He did used to drive his Lamborghini down Orange Avenue. Matt, do you remember this?
Oh, I absolutely remember that. Yes. If
He had an
I'm
orange
not
Lamborghini.
mistaken, I believe we may have flipped him the bird on occasion.
There was a rumor that
Not you guys.
Oh, not us.
There
Not
was
us guys.
rumor that someone stuck a Bring Back Joel sticker on the back of his car, but I do not know.
I like to think that rumor's true.
I'd like to think that true. I did see
Amazing.
one put on a cop car. I was like, that is not cool, guys. But whatever. Our fans were.
I kind of like it.
Cool.
So, guys, they can find us. And with that is my headlines.
Hey,
well
nice.
done.
Mostly scary monster stuff, but you know.
It was a good mix.
So, is it my turn?
Smith, it's all you.
Is that the way? I'm always second.
That's how we're doing it.
We've kind of established this. I don't know where the origins.
Look
of
at
that
you
came
and your
from.
little vacation glow. You're like, what are we doing now? Huh? Who?
It's energy, high energy. It's that. What are we doing?
I think I just start the
Snap
headlines.
into a Slim Jim. Yeah.
I just started headlines because I was like, well, somebody's got to do it.
That's right. You had the initiative. Good. You share the initiative.
Yeah, Tice, you led the charge.
You do. I appreciate that.
You might be king of the podcast.
Wait till my plugs.
Oh shit. Okay. Well.
King of the castle. King of the castle. Go.
So I too have an article about Creed, which is weird.
Oh my god!
I did not. I cheated a little bit. I read
out.
this, but no. This was published in Slate. Sorry, what did I say? Slate. And the name of the article is "With Arms Wide Open: How did Creed, the most hated bands of the 1990s, become so beloved and even cool?" I sailed the seas with thousands of fellow lunatics to find out. I did not read this article. I'm going to be honest with you. You are fucking wrong, sir. I don't care if you walked away from that experience. Like you were literally on a ship full of Creed fans. Like it's amazing there wasn't like an instantaneous vortex of uncool that just sucked you under. No, but it's weird that like they're back in the so again, apparently Creed does a cruise now,
I've heard about
cruise. Which I have to imagine more people jump overboard than your normal cruise, but I don't know. That would be a good experience, I think, just from like a sociological perspective. Just everybody you look at as a Creed fan, not only a Creed fan, but a big enough Creed fan that they spent like $4,000 to sail with Creed.
I will say,
sad.
It's kind of this weird thing. We had a practice space with Trophy Wife and wheelchair, and the room next to us was the bass player from Creed's band.
That's right. Yeah.
Do you remember that? And
I do.
He was always in full makeup and like costume.
What?
And he always had girls that looked like they were crazy goth chicks. It was that's not usually what happens at practices. I'm just going to say, that's not usually.
What are you talking about, Tyson? Your practices were always like that.
Loaded with goth chicks. It's true.
Just loaded with goth chicks. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Not cutting yourself and listen. Next one. Do you guys know who Miss Rachel is?
No.
Okay, so Miss Rachel is so if you are in like the general like area of a toddler, like this is like the biggest like it's like Sesame Street basically.
Oh,
like 2-3-year-old set. I know you guys, don't have a lot of toddlers in your life.
You got your fingers on the pulse of that, though.
Right? I do have my fingers on. Anyway, Miss Rachel looks like has been canceled because it's a very cute show. She teaches like about numbers of letters, and it's actually like kitty crack. But like the amazing thing is that she does like sign language, and my little nephew learned the more sign from Miss Rachel, and my brother or my sister and brother-in-law, they didn't know what she was doing, and finally they figured out that he was asking for more. He did that before he was vocal at all, so it's actually a really cool show.
That's pretty cool,
and they love it. Well, anyway, she made a comment about she launched a campaign to help the children of Gaza, and people just lost their shit on her.
That's bullshit.
So even Miss Rachel cannot escape this conflict that we have absolutely no business involving ourselves with. But I don't know what's going to happen. World War III. So anyway, sorry, Miss Rachel. This is your time, I guess.
Sad.
this was just, I love this story. Man gets realistic picture of his boat painted on fence intended to hide it. So basically, the city passed an ordinance in California that he had to put up a fence to hide his boat. Well, so he put up a fence and then he commissioned a mural of his boat, a photorealistic photo of his boat. I love this move. I like whoever this gentleman is.
That is
I'm
a hero.
Bravo, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I absolutely love that. What else we got? Oh yes, this is a local indie story. It had some. My friend Ryan pointed out years ago that some weird shit happens in Indianapolis. It's kind of like a mini Florida on some days. And this one also was quite good. Suspect's fondness for Funyuns leads to arrest in a pair of indie robberies. So he went into a Dollar General. Okay, first, I'm not a criminal. I'm not a very good one. And like, who the fuck holds up a Dollar General? Like, there's only like, it doesn't seem like the brightest. Anyway, apparently he handed the teller a $5 or a fake $100 bill, and then like while she's looking at it, he points a gun at her. But the only thing he left with, like, he demanded that she empty the cash register, but he also took some Funyuns with him because why the hell not, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, later they pulled him over and the Funyuns were found in his car, half eaten. And so the Funyuns that they saw on videotape that he took connected him to the robbery. And so good at you. That's another just
the funny
good stuff. Let's see what else we have. Couple quick ones. A couple days ago, this is from Vanity Fair. Donald Trump falsely and outrageously claims Biden was ready to shoot him during a Mar-a-Lago raid.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you guys hear about this?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
No, he sent out a fundraising email basically claiming, which is with all the implied truth that Trump would send out a solicitation for money. Would have basically claiming that like during the Mar-a-Lago raid, like Biden like commissioned or approved like some level of force that could be used. Anyway, it's complete bullshit. It was like a standard, like anytime you do a raid on somewhere, like they're not going to show up empty-handed. Like it's the it's the FBI. And anyway, he claimed that Biden's gonna try to kill him. So I don't even want to talk about it anymore. This is good news that happened, I think, yesterday, and is the DOJ sues Ticketmaster owner and asks court to break up the company's monopoly on live events.
Okay, I saw the headline. So what's going on with that?
So I learned a little more about this today, and essentially which is the weird thing about this is that the federal government approved the merger of Ticketmaster and Live Nation about like 10 or 12 years ago. So they approved the merger.
Right.
And now they're saying that it's a uncompetitive monopoly. Now it's not out of the box illegal to be a monopoly, but what they're claiming is they were doing things like any venues that like basically refused to use Ticketmaster, they were blacklisting. There were venues they were leaving empty on certain dates and so they definitely was some market manipulation, and I mean, it's absolutely gotten worse. Like it was back then, they didn't own the resale market. Now they own the resale market too. So they became the provider and the scalper for a lot of these things. And so it's
insane.
So anyway, I don't know that like what's going to come out of it. Probably, I mean, things aren't going to get great again. We're far gone with that. But it's interesting, like a lot of that, because I don't know, it seems like a lot of the smaller venues around here like don't use Ticketmaster at all. Like on occasion, like, they will, but it seems like most of them have kind of implemented their own ticket systems. But I'm guessing for most like amphitheaters and larger venues over X amount of capacity, they're basically using Ticketmaster because they have to, I think, because they won't get because apparently, and I didn't know this, but apparently they manage the live tours for like over 500 bands an hour.
Oh my.
Yeah, which I didn't realize that. So I'm guessing that like for the bigger stars out there, that they're actually like sort of beholden to like where Ticketmaster books them. And so anyway, we'll see what happens, but I'm good to see something bad happen to Ticketmaster. We've been complaining about Ticketmaster for 20 years now. We just keep paying them. So,
Yep. unfortunately.
And the last one, some sad news. We can get into the ugliness if we want to, but Steve Albini passed away about a week ago,
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, at
which was
61.
61. I was still am a huge Big Black fan. Kerosene was basically written about the city of Hays, Kansas. Uh, and Shellac, and he was, the sad thing
Shellac,
was, is
yeah. I love shellac.
he just had an album which is excellent, that came out last Friday.
Yeah.
It's quite good. And they were supposed to be doing a Tyson, I think, mentioned they were supposed to be doing a tour. So
Yeah.
so anyway, sad to hear that. He was a controversial figure. I think we can leave it at that. But for most of
Yeah,
you,
let's
probably
leave it at
yeah,
that.
let's leave it at that. I think most people would know him from kind of his production work. He basically was an amazing producer. He produced In Utero, Nirvana's third album. He produced a lot of acts, and basically his whole thing was, I think you told me this, Tyson, but his whole thing was uh, that, like, if he liked your band, he would produce you, and it was just kind of a flat rate deal. Like, he
Yeah.
didn't do it for like the money. He just, like, if he liked your band and liked your stuff and thought he could add something to it, he'd have you out to Chicago and record your album and engineer and produce it. And
Yeah,
which
for
was,
very reasonable price. And
yeah, for a very reasonable price. Yeah.
Bob Weston was the guy that worked at the studio with him, and he's a renowned, mostly known for his mastering work. But I mean, like they would do. I was talking to a friend of mine, Tyler, and he was in this hardcore band Bloodlet, and they almost recorded with
Oh,
uh,
no kidding.
yeah, and and then I was talking to Brad, and Brad said that there was some discussion of working with him because he would, if he liked you, like you said, if he liked your band, he would charge you flat rate. He wouldn't ask for any points on the back end, especially and all, any of that stuff. And a lot of like if you weren't on a major label, there's no points on the back end, kind of thing. But he did write a pretty amazing uh, sort of diatribe, I guess, about the music industry and
I was
how
just
it.
going to mention that. Yes, if people
Yeah.
haven't seen it or read it, look it up. It's from probably like I think it was from like the late '90s, maybe,
Yeah,
when he wrote that. But
I,
go ahead.
yeah, no, I think it was early to mid '90s because he kind of like the formative version of that letter was what he sent to Nirvana, basically saying like I'm not going to do it for points. If you're going to work with me, you have to. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this and this, and all those things were basically in sort of supporting the band more than it was for him. But he just thought that the music industry was, and it was crooked. It was. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not really like that anymore because the music industry is not like it was. Everybody puts their own records out and all that
Right.
But
kind
it
of stuff.
really put some context behind, like, I mean, in the early '90s, basically, if you were, they were offering a ton of deals because they thought grunge was going to be here forever. Didn't quite work out that way, but they offered a ton of rock bands deals, and I think it was like 2 or 3 thousand words. It's not a long write up, but it really goes through and explains basically how they set you up to absolutely fail.
Yeah.
And like, unless you're like a 1% case, like, it's your design to fail, unless you're just absolutely huge.
What
So
they
it was
do
a
is
really good read.
what they used to do is they would front bands like $500,000, and the band would be like, okay, we're going to buy all new equipment, we're going to buy a bus, we're going to buy a van, we're going to do all this stuff, and then they would buy a house, or they would move, or not buy a house, but they get a nicer place, blah blah blah.
Hmm.
What they didn't realize was that they had to pay all that money back. Well, if their first record didn't sell and they got dropped, then they were in debt for all that
Debt.
money.
Yeah.
And
Ugh.
there was. I mean, how are you going to come up with that money, even if you split between four people? I mean, how you? I mean, it's just so. It was really a screwy deal back in the day.
Yeah, one of my favorite stories was a little bit later, but do you guys remember the band Len, "Steal My Sunshine"? You remember
Yeah.
the "Steal My
Yeah.
Sunshine"
Yeah.
song
Yeah.
that we couldn't get out of our heads in the summer of '99?
No,
Uh,
we could not.
they actually, I think, whoever they were on, like Columbia or something, gave them like $250,000 to do a video, and so they basically just went to an island and partied for like 3 weeks and threw all the money, and they had like 10 grand left. And if you remember the video of them just like
Oh
riding
yeah.
around on the streets on bicycles, that's why, because they spent all the money partying. So not a huge
That's funny.
fan of the band, but just reminded me of that little tidbit.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. No.
So yeah,
That
that's my headlines.
yeah. That video
Go
is
ahead,
not
Tyson.
great.
That video is not great. That
He was
video is
always a
not great.
little too comfortable with his sister, if I can. I think it was his sister, and you just, like, they're a little too comfortable.
A little too
Let's be
close.
yeah, it's a little
Mm.
too. I'm not inferring anything. Allegedly, Lynn,
No, not at all. Not
not
at
at
all.
all. Now that song's in my head. Yay.
I know. Now it's in mine as well. Great.
Not just hey, it's a great pop tune. I hate to say it.
It is.
Great pop
it is.
It is. God damn it. That's fine.
Damn it, Lynn.
A lot of those songs were. Not to go down that rabbit hole. Okay, we're gonna get out of it. All right. I have a couple. My first one is this is from a few weeks ago. RFK finds dead worm in his brain. This actually happened in like 2010.
Yeah.
And this is the first time that he's actually like talking about it publicly, but he kind of goes through like the symptoms of it. CNN posted an article, and some of the doctors that were talking about it said some funny things just in regards to his mental state now. But
I believe him.
I do too. I mean, basically, this worm got into his brain and ate a portion of it. So there you have it. I guess that's led to some of his batshit craziness. I assume
it ate the Kennedy part. I think
that's right.
Ate the Kennedy part.
Heyo. Yeah. So it's funny. There's all kinds of articles about it that you can check out. That guy's a wackadoo. And then Steve Buscemi got punched while walking in the streets of New York. Did you guys see that shit?
Yeah.
I did.
It's insane. Like, what is going on in the city? I literally sent this to like a bunch of my New York friends that would care. And I was like, if you see this bastard, don't punch him. Stay away, but call the authorities.
Bad. He's not like a,
not a young man.
Not a young man.
He's not a young man. And the guy that clocked him is a built dude. So I hope he's okay. I think he's okay now, but that sucks.
Who doesn't like Steve Buscemi?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
He's Tom Petty. He's like universally liked.
He had a problem with Boardwalk Empire. Like, write the producers.
He's the cool dude.
More like The Sopranos. They told me it was like The Sopranos. That's rough, man.
That is rough.
Well, we with Steve, friend of the pod.
We're with Steve.
We're with you, buddy.
My favorite.
I hope he's okay.
30 Rock. Him on 30 Rock is still my favorite thing ever.
I don't remember him on 30 Rock.
He goes undercover as a teenager, and
shit. Okay.
Yeah.
He's working for Jack. Yeah, it's great. Anyway.
That's good. I just remember him, like his little bit that he did on Billy Madison, which I know it's Billy Madison, but I still love that movie with the lipstick on the couch.
Did you semi-breaking news, did you see that Netflix has greenlit Billy Madison 2?
Saw that.
No.
Or Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison?
Happy Gilmore 2. Okay.
I apologize.
They all blend together. It's
I know. I didn't want to get those masterworks confused with each other. So we want to conflate the genius that was either of those films.
The Criterion Collection people are very upset with you, man.
I will say one of the biggest laughs I've ever had was from my brother. My brother and I watched the shit out of Billy Madison, so take that for what you will. But he had this shirt on one day, and he lifted it up, and it said Frank underneath it from Billy Madison when his dad's like, where did you get that god-awful shirt? And he's like, I borrowed it from Frank. And then he lifts up his shirt and it says Frank on it. He's like, what are you, some sort of damn moron? My brother and I just, it's an ongoing joke. So thanks for that again, Matt. Anyway, Buscemi, we hope you're okay, buddy. From one big-eyed person to another. I hope he didn't get one of those giant eyeballs. Fucking A. That'd be bad. So this next one is from Anna Towns. Anna, keep them coming. This is great. She sent me this little bit from the Satanic Temple. And it's a social media post, but they started selling condoms with SCOTUS on them. Have you guys seen this?
No. That's great.
It's great. And it says, protecting reproductive rights isn't easy. If it were, even SCOTUS would have been able to do it. That's why we've stepped in to bring our SCOTUS condoms to you, because they are 98% more effective at protecting your body. really great illustrations on the condoms. Bravo. So support the Satanic Temple. Maybe we'll post a little link to that and get your condoms today. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And then last but definitely not least, this is from the New York Post. Wendy's adds mammoth 50-piece chicken nugget party pack to menu, satisfying our fans' cravings.
Okay.
What do you guys? How do you guys feel about this? $15 for 50 fucking chicken nuggets.
Now that you tell me it's $15, I'm a little. I mean, they're not great. They are like the worst of the nuggets.
I agree. I think there's some frozen nuggets that are actually better than Wendy's nuggets.
I mean, if I could go back to 22 again, I'd be all over that shit.
That's a good point, Tice. I would buy that for sure if I was 22.
I have a feeling it's still not a loss leader, so
probably not. No, probably not.
I mean, I guess
like a bad idea, like the all-you-can-eat shrimp thing that Red Lobster did.
Well, which is also news. They went bankrupt this week, largely in part. Which that is the best just inbuilt joke of just like, oh my god,
It's so great.
Oh, they underestimated the demand of what those people could do to that place.
They really did. Endless shrimp to a Midwesterner, like that's a bad
game to be in. Yeah, so R.I.P. Red Lobster.
I'm gonna vent a little bit. I went to a wing place today, and it was $17.99 for 10 wings.
$17.99?
10 wings, bone-in wings.
What? Were they that good? Were they good?
Well, they're good, but still, I mean, they're Jefferson's wings, but that's a lot of money, and that's about what they cost at Hooters too. And I remember when
thanks, Joe Biden.
When my sides with that, or is there no sides? I just literally 10 wings,
tortilla chips, and celery. So no,
that's right, Jefferson.
No fries. That's weird.
You can get fries, but
anyway, upcharge.
Yeah. Okay.
But there was a place called Orlando Ale House, and I'm remembering correctly, Orlando, and you could get 30 bone-in wings for $9.95. That was a long time ago.
Damn.
Yeah. That's
a deal.
That was a good deal. Yeah. Those days are gone forever.
What was that wings place that we went to before when I came in for work?
Jefferson's.
For that conference. It was Jefferson's?
Yes,
okay.
She went to a wings place and she got the fish.
Sorry.
Well,
I was like, "What's the deal?" She's like,
I told you,
you don't like to eat wings in front of people."
I don't. John hates eating wings with me. I'm pretty sure because it just looks like a murder scene on my face.
That's all right. That's what your partner's there for.
I think the last time I had
Tyson's so tidy about it. He has like a whole thing that he does.
He does in a system,
right? It's like honestly,
it's hard to eat your own lunch. I just like watching Tyson eat wings. It's a thing.
Oh, that was my first experience, like probably in a long time, and I was just like, whoa, that like you have a plan. Sir.
I do.
Yeah, it's like a workflow. He has like a workflow.
He totally does.
It's like
it's
Jira.
Succinct. And there's like no wing sauce that gets on them. Like he's got it down to a science. It's actually pretty brilliant. Highly recommend having wings with Tice.
Yeah, I still won't do it.
I endorse it.
Not that it comes up often, but I still won't do it on a first date. But yes, I do have a system, and so does Beth. And she's like, she'll hand me 3 paper towels before they get there, and I'm like, "Yep, there we go." I'm like, it's true.
Didn't they used to have like a wing day where like wings were like 50 cents? Wasn't that?
They still do. It's $1 for a bone-in wing. So I mean, we go on Wednesdays because that's it's affordable, right? But like if you want to get 15 wings, it's $28. Oh. And that's not including the fries or any other shit. So yeah, wings are expensive right now.
I'm too fancy, man.
Again, thanks, Biden.
Yeah, I know.
What's that guy even doing? Come on.
He
started calling
naps.
Losing. What he's doing.
He started calling. I saw this little thing. He's trying to egg on Trump. He started calling him a loser.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's his thing now. He's calling him a loser, which I think is pretty funny.
You guys gonna watch them debate?
Well, yeah. I like the idea that Trump was like, we have to stand. Like that's the bar. Let's see if they can both stand for an hour. Like
yeah.
Well, purportedly, reportedly they have agreed to mic cutoffs, which is going to be interesting because
Oh,
Trump is not good
Really?
at mic cutoffs.
no, he
Yeah,
is not.
they won't do it. I know they won't do it. Like they're too like. All right, there's like a 15% chance they'll do it, but that's all I'm giving in this situation. No. The thing, dude, like that's his thing. Like he just keeps talking and over talks. Like
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
his move. And so I don't know. Like I think Biden will do well. I'm looking forward to it. I don't think it'll probably
I'll
change
watch it.
anything.
Yeah,
But,
I don't either.
oh heck yeah, oh yeah. But they're doing them early. Like this is the earliest presidential debate in the history of presidential debate. So that's
Well, at
so
least
exciting.
oh, he'll back out. You know, Trump will back.
He'll
out.
back out. Yes,
He'll
he
back
will.
out.
Oh, for sure.
He
Yeah.
will. Like,
Yeah.
He'll be like, oh, I can't get fair and blah blah blah.
Right.
Whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They effectively think that like the Trump campaign threw that out there as kind of a bluff, and then Biden just like
Sure.
said, "Nope,
Grabbed onto it. Yeah.
Yep.
My mental
So,
acuity is better than yours.
yep. As long as there aren't any stairs, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Oh, God damn it.
Oh, so sad. Let's just enjoy
really
this
sad.
summer. Let's just enjoy it.
Absolutely the last Freedom 24 summer. Last
Yeah.
one. Last one.
Hot freedom summer.
Get out there, kids. Get your snow cones. Enjoy your
absolutely.
festivals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hot dogs and the death of democracy, baby. It's summer 24.
That is the name of our show this week. Well done, Smith.
Everybody likes a hot dog.
Everyone does. I love it. Yeah, hell yeah.
They do.
Amazing. You guys ready to plug?
Plug it up.
Plug.
You, the ice cream manufacturer. You, the frozen food distributor. And you, the food retailer. Stand today in the midst of a selling revolution. For today, you're in a merchandising era of self-service, where display and accessibility are the key to successful merchandising. Yes, today's problem is merchandising. To sell in high volume for high profits, frozen products are impulse items. And impulse buying is primarily an emotional decision.
Okay, I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to do TV shows first. So we've been watching a lot of TV. So there's a show called Civilization on PBS. If you have the PBS app, it's easy to see. And it's about civilization. It's 9 episodes, but it's basically, it correlates civilization to art. So it sort of traces how civilization developed and how art developed with civilization. It was not what I was expecting, but it was very, very, very interesting in ways that I did not expect. In fact, some of the early episodes are so fascinating because they keep finding new civilizations of different sort of art movements based on those civilizations. They can track it back. There's one in China specifically that's quite interesting. So anyway, I recommend that. There's a show called Secrets of the Neanderthals on Netflix, and that is quite good too. It's a documentary. It's about an hour and a half long, and it sort of goes back to some studies that were done in the 60s, in the 50s and 60s, and they came back to the cave to do some more work, and it basically kind of explodes what people think Neanderthals were. They weren't Neanderthals, as people would say. There was quite a bit of different thing going on. Everyone is in LA with John Mulaney. Fantastic.
I'm plugging that as well. Oh my God. How great is it, Tice?
Oh, good. I watched the first episode, especially the opening monologue, and I was completely hooked. It's about LA as it stands today. And and the guests are fantastic, even though Jerry Seinfeld kind of takes over the show for a minute, so they remove him, which I thought was funny. And then
he did, he did take over.
But Patton's on there, and the guests are interesting. The phone calls are fantastic.
The phone calls are great, but the best. What is the best for you? What's your favorite part about the show? Is it Richard Kind being his Ed McMahon?
It's not my favorite, but it is
brilliant.
It is inspired. That choice is inspired.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's doing bits, but he's also not doing bits, and like it's
I can't tell what's a bit. I can't tell which is just Richard being weird.
Yeah, he
Him dancing to Warren G will always remain in my heart forever.
go
It's fantastic.
his diatribe about how his father lost a job to a robot when he worked in Brooklyn. I mean, there's some amazing stuff in there, and the musical guests are
Oh,
amazing too. I've never seen
so
Joyce
good.
Manor on TV, and I was so
Oh my
tickled.
god, Joyce Manor killed it. It was so good. Yeah.
Weren't they good? So anyway, I highly recommend it. They did it
Yep.
live. I tried to tune in once live, and I forgot. So anyway, it's just great. And then nobody cares, but I'm going to plug it anyway. There used to be this X-Men cartoon on Fox Mornings, Fox Kids, which was a little past my time, probably right in your slot, Doss. Did you
Oh
watch
yeah.
Fox
Okay.
Kids Saturday morning cartoons?
My brother and I did. Yeah, for sure.
It was, and so anyway, they used to have this X-Men cartoon. Well, I never watched. I watched it, but it was for kids, and I was probably in high school at the time, and so I
Mhm.
never really liked it. So anyway, they started making new X-Men. They It ended in the fourth season, and now they made a fifth season, and there's going to be a sixth season. And um, I watched all 10 episodes. It's amazing. Like it's really good. Like
It's the
it's not.
X Men '97 thing
Yeah.
that I've seen. Yeah,
80,
okay.
yeah, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's really good. The animation is anime level. It's really good. Even and the acting isn't like for children anymore. It's not so blown up, and the storylines are all straight out of the comic books that I read when I was in seventh, eighth, ninth grade. So that it clicks with me completely. I did not think I would like it, and I loved it. Um, so all right.
Probably won't watch it, but I applaud you in
Well, I
plugging
mean,
it.
if you read X Men comics in the '90s, then it's a must watch. But if you didn't, then
Okay.
you wouldn't.
We
I
support your
That's fair.
enjoyment.
That's
We're
right.
here to support your enjoyment.
I know.
Always and forever.
I only plug that for the people that are not you two. So
For the
um,
YouTube people, you can see the venom shoot out of Tyson's
Yeah,
eyes
really.
in that
Yes.
moment.
that's fine. It's fine. We don't all have to
But
like
it's
the
really not.
same thing.
No, it's
You don't
not.
have to like
I
it.
can read through the lines. All right.
No, yeah.
I've
We're
Yeah.
been
aware.
I've been
Sorry,
listening.
Tice.
It's fine. I've been listening to two records this week. Kind of a weird dichotomy. I've been listening to this record. It's called Helium. It's called The Dirt of Luck.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
yeah,
came out
yeah,
Is
in
yeah.
that Mary Timony?
It is. It
Am
came out.
I? Yeah.
This is her first full length record from 1995.
Yeah.
I hadn't listened to it in a
I
long
love
time.
helium.
Oh,
That's fucking cool.
me too. And it's actually a really good record. I mean, it's very early in her career. Did you know she was a Juilliard and she graduated when she was 17 for guitar?
Yes, I did know that only
Wow.
because my friend Jackie, who's in a band, is obsessed with her. Like she mimics her whole look and the band after Helium's music.
I
So
mean, it's
yeah,
yeah. I
it's
mean,
inspired, I
it-
should say, not
it's
mimics, but
it's
yeah.
very very good, and I've been listening to it a lot. And this other record I've been listening to this week is called Hotline TNT, and the name of this record
Oh, that's cool.
it's called Cartwheel, and
It's
I
a
don't
great
really
album
I
cut.
don't know how to explain it except that it's guitar, but it's it's I don't know. Anyway, it's the
What
lead
is the name of the band again?
Hotline TNT.
Okay.
So the new playlist that I'm working on right now, it's the lead off track for our playlist. So you guys can
Excellent,
check it out then.
Tice.
Anyway, it's really worth checking out. I've been since I it's so funny. So what I do now because I'm working and I listen to records, so I just listen to the one side over and over and over, and then I flip it and I listen to the other side over and over and over again, which is a weird way to do it. It's not how you're supposed to do it, but anyway, those two records. There's this book I read called Breathe um, by James Nestor. Um, I highly recommend everyone reading it. It's one of those books that talks about the healing, not just the healing power of breath, but also like the history. Like it's one of those things where like he kind of points out that like you know 2,000 years ago they figured this thing out and then they forgot it, and then 1,000 years later somebody else in a different part of the world figured this thing out and then they forgot it.
Hmm.
It's the same thing as like people figured out that if you ate oranges you could avoid rickets, or
Hmm.
scurvy, uh, but
Scurvy.
people kept forgetting it, so it kept being rediscovered throughout Europe for hundreds of years, but then they would forget it or write it down and no one else would know about it. Anyway, this all has to do with breathing. um, and it is fascinating. But it's also very much based on science. It's about how people are doing scientific studies on these old teachings now. There's a lot of history in it. It is an utterly quick read because it's so fascinating. Highly recommend
Cool.
everyone read it. You will. I mean, I've got a book on tape because that's just my preferred way to do it, and I could not stop listening to it. It's really good.
Cool.
What's it called? Breath? That's what it's called?
Yeah, it's called Breathe or
Breathe.
Breath,
Sorry.
and it's by James Nestor, Nestor.
Okay.
And it is fascinating, and it really is. I mean, I don't know, Beth.
Does it talk about how cigarettes are great for you?
No, but the weirdest thing about it is that it talks about how like the reason why all of us are kind of have problems. People that breathe through their noses do not have crooked teeth, and so there's all these health problems that come with breathing through your mouth. And
Yeah,
part of the
that's
reason,
what I've heard.
so part of the
I'm a
reason,
mouth breather.
well,
You
me
kind of
too.
do.
And part of the reason that is because our faces have been flattened over the last 400,
Uh-huh.
500 years, and our nostrils are smaller.
So we're like pugs, basically.
Yeah,
Is that
basically, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually even thinking about buying some.
Pugs are cute at least. At least we're cute.
We got to get some
They're
breathe
cute.
strips.
Poor malformed bastards.
So I did see two movies. I saw Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire.
Oh, how was that?
I mean, I liked it. I can see why critics didn't like it because there's virtually no character development outside of the monsters having character
Yeah,
development.
yeah.
So it's not like they're giving big soliloquies or anything like that. But the people in the movie, there's a little bit of character development, but not much. Anyway, I wanted to see a bunch of big ass monsters fight, and I got tons of that, so it was great.
Nice.
Also covers a lot of ground. It covers Mothra and Son of Kong, and what was the other one? Anyway, it was good. And then I saw this movie called I saw the TV Glow last night.
Oh, yeah. I've been
Oh,
curious about
that's on
that.
the
Yeah.
list. How was it?
It was interesting. It is a weird movie. Uh, I think for the sake of being weird to a certain extent, it's
Okay.
got Twin Peaks vibes, I would say.
Excellent. I'm into it.
When I watched it, I came home and Beth's like, "Well, what was it about?" And I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "I don't know what the I don't." I was like, "I don't know what the allegory was. I don't know what they were trying to say, except that I think it's about identity. I don't know. I was like, I'm not going to look it up. I'm just going to sit with it. And I literally went to sleep thinking about it. And I woke up, and the first thing I was thinking about was that movie. So it's definitely worth watching. Um, and the soundtrack is amazing. Alex G does the soundtrack for it,
Oh, hell yeah.
and like I mean, it's just full of indie rock. Fucking, it's excellent. So I knew the soundtrack was going to be good going into it because they've been playing it on the radio and stuff. But anyway, it's an allegory about a television show and growing up and identity, and the show that they're focused on is so much Buffy the Vampire Slayer. In fact, they use the same font because they show parts of the TV show. They use the same Buffy the Vampire
Oh,
Oh,
font,
nice.
and
that's cool.
yeah, and it's slow and a little confusing. And anyway, it's worth watching. I don't think like Beth was like, "Are you ever gonna?" She's like, "Am I ever gonna watch it?" I was like, "I don't think so." Because it's kind of got like Donnie Darko kind of vibes to it. Like you don't.
Okay.
It's hard to tell what's going on. But the more I thought about it, the more I think that there is more story there than I initially thought because it sneaks up on you, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But uh, I don't know. The main lead actress, she's trans, and she's like, "Well, I think it's definitely about trans." And the lead guy is black, and he's like, "Well, I think it has to do with race and color." So I think really, it's you just sort of get what you get out of the movie. Like
Okay.
you relate to it however you relate to it. But I think it has to do with identity for the most part, and it is legit. Like it's not. You know how like some movies will be like, "Well, everything's gonna be okay at the end," and that's not this movie. Like
That's not this movie.
no.
Okay.
So anyway, I would recommend it if you like to be challenged by cinema, um, and if you
Always.
and if you
I
love
love it.
and if you love a really good soundtrack, it's so.
Well, you said Alex G, and I was like, I'm even more sold. So
Yeah,
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, he did the music, and then like Phoebe Bridgers was actually in the movie with Sloppy Jane, and
All right. Well, yeah.
So anyway,
sounds right up my alley.
That's what I wanted to end with. It was funny though because it did remind me like when the movie was over. Because if you're not into that kind of movie, like a bunch of people behind me, I would say everybody in the theater was under 30 when I was in there. Everybody I saw walk in,
Yeah.
and a bunch of people started behind me like, "What the fuck was that?" It was just like when I said that out loud. Like, it was like when I saw uh, Blair Witch in the theater, and as soon as it was over, you know how that movie ends. Somebody goes, "What the fuck was that?" Like out loud in the theater. And to be fair, that was kind of fair for that movie, but not this movie.
Fair.
Not this movie.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Anyway, that's my pluggies. So
your pluggies. I like that. Pluggies.
I like that. You're gonna have to write a new theme song now that we're officially renaming this pluggies.
Oh, you will.
Quite fit. It's gonna be like a Poppy Archie's kind of tune.
There you go. Okay,
I also, on that note, want to record when we're together headline of the week. So we'll have to do that at Smith's house.
Okay, absolutely.
We can all yell.
So it's not live anymore. I'm gonna yell into the recording, but I want to make sure that it's all succinct and it doesn't cut out.
We'll do that. French kiss. We'll cut that track. Yes.
It'll be a fun little project for us. And we're not watching a ton of fucking bad TV movies.
Oh, well, that's going to happen too.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Okay, I just have a couple. My first plug is for I had not been, but for the Sternberg Museum of Natural History in Hays, Kansas. I had not been to the quote unquote new Sternberg since it moved off campus. It's not bad. It's not bad. They've got kind of a really like a very cool, like, I'm sure this was like the draw, right? It was like the animatronic like T-Rex, which like is pretty neat. It's it's
if you're
pretty
a kid,
neat.
It's terrifying.
It was, yeah. And so, but like that room was very big. It was just like cool stuff. It was good to see like those rocks again. I miss those rocks. And
fish within a fish, guys.
And the fish within a fish. Yeah, the fish within a fish definitely on display.
Where's that shrunken head? I miss it.
So funny you mentioned that because that was my other point. So the shrunken head is still there.
Oh,
my friend Jesse Shaver informed me by popular demand. I think the denizens demanded that the shrunken head. So it's actually a real shrunken head, and my friend Jesse Shaver told me the story. And apparently, like the guy was in wherever they do the shrunken heads. My geography is not that great, but wherever that was a thing.
Let's just say Congo.
Yes, and say the Congo. Apologies to the folks of the Congo who are also fans of the podcast. Just like a small slice. They apparently, like, the guy smuggled it back in like a pineapple container or something with like a bunch of pineapple. Which you kind of look at it, I
can see that.
I can see that. Not a pretty smart idea. But anyway, so here's the thing about, and this is information that's pride to me, is it's basically hidden from public display because like it's very kid orientated and it's hard to explain a shrunken head to a child. It fits somewhere between the Easter Bunny not being real and Santa Claus not being real, I think. Shrunken head talk before the sex talk, the shrunken head talk. But apparently it's like if you're in there and you see like something that looks like offices, keep going back into those offices and they literally put it behind a pillar.
Really?
So like you have to like walk towards the offices and then if you turn around, so they've decisively hidden it from public view, but it is there.
Wow.
I don't like that.
I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get to see that. But actually, it was a pretty cool little bit. So congratulations, Hayes, circa 1998. That was a good move on your part.
Yes, it was.
I still miss the old one. I still do miss the one that was on.
Yeah.
And there weren't like a lot of like, I mean, there's like, I don't know, there weren't like a lot of relics, but they've got like a whole like snake room. There's a dark snake room. So there's a snake room and like there's a tortoise.
Yeah, but do you remember when you could look at the minerals in that little closeted area that they had?
Yeah, so you can do that. You can still do that. Yeah, that was like they've rebuilt that but yeah, where it actually exposes like two different wavelengths of UV and like you can see like different. So that was actually really neat.
That's cool.
One thing that just came to mind though that I heard about that I'm not so big on. was that apparently there's a tortoise, like a big one of those big tortoises, then they've got it, and we didn't know if it was real or not because we're like, surely that's not a real. And then it moved its head, and we're like, oh, moron. But there's a tortoise. Well, apparently, this was told to me by 2 independent sources, so I'm just going to call it fact.
That is look at that. That's Jabberjaw. Investigates 2.
That is to the
2 independent sources have verified.
Way to go!
So apparently, they do birthday parties there.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, no.
So guess what? One of the attractions of the birthday party is you get to ride the tortoise.
Ride the tortoise.
Yeah.
Take the gummy, ride the tortoise.
Yes. Which strikes me as a bad
That
thing.
is so wrong.
So
Hello,
I learned,
PETA.
Right. So don't worry about the shrunken head. Stop stop the children riding that. So
well, this is what Hayes is known for, right? Hypocrisy.
Well, it's going a
so
little,
it's like
yes. So that was a little disappointing.
I thought Hayes was known to be the Tree City. That's what I understood it to be.
Tyson.
Tree City, USA.
Anyway, yeah. So.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. You're correct.
Yeah. So yes. So shout out Sternberg.
Yeah.
Staying strong.
Hell yeah.
Lots of free parking.
And it was like a $6 ticket too, right? It's been a few years.
I think it was like 10. I think it was like 10.
Oh shit! All right, again, Joe Biden.
Well, they gotta get that turtle a lot of fucking PT now that it's.
Oh, I know.
That poor thing. That bums me out.
He wasn't in the best of moods, so now I understand why.
He barely moved his head. What a dick!
Right.
Fair. It's my daughter's birthday, god damn it.
McDonald's used to do birthdays. You didn't mean you get to ride Ronald. Like, that's just... I don't know what they're thinking.
For an extra $50, man.
Yeah. And then just one quick one. This is something we hadn't got a chance to watch a lot new that was out there, but this is Netflix has a new docu-series about the Ashley Madison website.
I started that last night.
Yeah, it's not bad. Again, it's one of those things that could have been a normal documentary, but they've split it into 3 parts. I think 3 or 4 parts. But that was pretty good. Some of the story I didn't know. Obviously, it's kind of sad and embarrassing for a lot of people because a lot of dudes got scammed, but also you can't feel too terribly bad for people
you cannot
cheating on their spouse. So
it's worth a
There's that one guy in the first episode, and I almost catch myself feeling sorry for him.
I know.
No.
Yeah,
Texas guy, he got married to this hot chick, and when he was 20, had 2 beautiful women or children with him. And then he's like, I'm just not getting enough female attention, and went on Ashley Madison. And I don't know the rest of the story, but I'm sure it's awful.
Stay tuned because it's No, it wasn't bad. It was pleasantly surprising. I kind of thought it'd be a little more just kind of I don't know, unnecessarily salacious, but it was pretty solid. So I enjoyed it, and still a thing, still around, by the way.
Is it really?
I was looking for a lookup on it because it's on Netflix. If I didn't mention that, but yeah, it's still a thing. So
wow.
Good luck to you.
Yikes.
Anyway, that's my not my headlines. Those are my pluggies. That's right.
You should just call it "I'm having an affair," and then you can add it as a Facebook update or some shit. This is
having an affair.
All right. I feel like I have quite a few plugs. So there's a mini series on Netflix called Baby Reindeer. Have you guys seen that? Heard of it?
Heard the buzz. How is it?
It's quite good. The guy who wrote and directed it, Richard Gadd. I guess it was a play and now it's a mini series, and I mean, they go there. It's pretty scary in terms of the relationship that this guy has with this stalker and how it starts out one way and becomes a completely different thing at the end. The writing is fantastic. The way that just the cinematography, everything, it's actually very captivating. And the story itself is very cringy. There's a lot of things in it, especially the stalker herself. I feel for her character. And I guess she's a real woman. Like, I guess this is based on a true story that
Oh,
happened
okay.
to him. To an extent. Like, there have been a bunch, you know how media just
Yeah,
grabs
yeah,
onto
yeah, yeah.
something popular and
Well,
drags the shit out of
she
it.
came out, identified herself, and said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, no."
On that dumbass British guy's show.
Oh, Pierce
What's
Morgan.
his Pierce Morgan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just guessed. Yeah, I just guessed.
Yeah, nope, that's him. Yep, nailed it. Way to go. But I like it a lot. It actually reminds me of this movie I liked a lot in the early 2000s called Cashback. So I'm into it.
Oh yeah, I
Did
remember
you
that.
guys
I've
ever
seen
see
that.
that?
I have seen that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
Okay.
It's quite good. And then I'm gonna double plug what Tyson already plugged. John Mulaney's "Everybody's in L.A." Some critic wrote that he cracked the late night code, and I like really kind of believe that. Like, it is bizarre. You feel anxious. Like, it takes you on this roller coaster. And then you just like John Mulaney's brilliant. Like, at the end of the day, like everything that he's able to pull off, I'm like really impressed by. Um and Richard Kind
Yeah,
as his sidekick. That is like I
yeah.
can't get over it.
It
And
was
it actually
it was inspired. It really
it
was.
was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I love that guy. Like, one of the funniest stories I've ever heard about Richard Kind, and I may have talked about this on the podcast already, so if I did, I apologize. But have you guys ever heard about any of the stories of him living with George Clooney in New York back in the day?
No.
So they were roommates in New York when they were both starting out in acting, and Richard had this cat, and George is a well-known prankster. Like, everybody knows that. He's carried that through his career, like he's just known for it. But this one day, George Clooney decided to take a shit in Richard Kind's cat box. Richard got back from an audition and screamed and was like, "What is going on with my cat?" And George just let him go with it for days. Was like made him believe something was wrong with his cat. Just stuff like that warms my heart. That man, I love Richard Kind, and I love George Clooney. So good stuff there all around. And then have you guys watched Hacks on the Max?
I watched part of the first season. I haven't finished it yet. I liked it
The
though.
third season's out and it's great. It just gets better and better. So check that out.
That yeah, I forgot about that. I need to watch it.
It's good. Yeah, I feel like you guys would both freaking love it. And your partners. I could see Beth and Kathy really liking it too. And then watched a new movie that's available for rent called Sasquatch Sunset. Have you
Oh,
guys heard about this?
oh yeah. How
No.
was it? It's on my list.
Great.
Is it?
I'm really interested to hear both of your takes on it.
I almost went to the theater and saw it, and I had to cancel because something came up. But
Damn, the music is really good. I mean, obviously, it's completely nonverbal because it's just focused on a year in the life of this Sasquatch family. Jesse Eisenberg is one of the
yeah.
Sasquatches.
Have you heard about this, Matt? It is something
No,
Riley
else.
it sounds like
Keough is one of the other ones.
like a modern like quest for fire. It's like what did no, that's
I
it's
never
interesting.
saw that.
No,
I
it's
it's
bad.
yeah.
No, I think it's more of a sort of an environmental thing, but
Okay.
Yeah,
but
it's definitely that. And it was directed and written by these two guys, David and Nathan Zellner. And Nathan is actually one of the Sasquatches in the movie as well.
Okay.
So Jesse was on a podcast I listened to called Chinwag with Paul Giamatti and Stephen Asma. It's all about like paranormal and philosophy and stuff. They love talking about Sasquatch, especially. And since he's in this movie, they're like, you know, and Giamatti's a brilliant actor. He's like, how did you prepare for it? And they all went to mime school for like 6 months. And
Wow.
the acting is really good at it. It's got like this sense of humor that I wasn't
That's
expecting,
cool.
but I want to strongly plug it. And then we watched another movie from A24 called Problemista. Have you guys heard of that? It's written and directed by this adorable kiddo. I call him a kiddo. He's probably like 37 or something. His name's Julio Torres.
Oh, I have
And he
heard about
stars,
this.
yeah, it's
Tilda's
so
in that.
good. Yeah. And Tilda Swinton, yeah, who's amazing. She's one of my favorites. But he plays like this aspiring toy designer who is struggling to stay in the United States. And it kind of like, and then he comes across and meets Tilda Swinton's character, and it just goes from there. And it's kind of got like this fantasy part to it, like coming of age story, and it's based on his real life. It's good. I loved it. A24 doesn't make shit, so anytime they have a movie, I'm like, I'm probably gonna watch it at some point.
Although
But yeah.
they're making so many now that I've seen a couple that are like, it's not as great. But I
Really?
mean, that's because their standard is so high.
God dang it! I know that's true.
I know we're running a little bit, but what did A24 come out of? Like, I know I've just started seeing it on everything the last 3 or 4 years.
It started as kind of like a horror art thing.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, okay.
Ari Aster's first movie was A24, if I believe.
Was A24? Yeah.
Heredity,
yeah.
I think it was.
Heredity, yeah.
And then like it just kind of extended, and then they did a musical. They did that the Dick's musical,
and they've been doing those what are the Maxine movies that people are liking, like those.
I've seen those. I'll go see that in the theater. That looks pretty good. The new one,
yeah, the new one definitely looks good.
Did you watch that guy? What's his name? The Julio from that movie you were just talking about. He did a show on HBO Max called Los Spookies. Have you ever seen?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I remember
that is, yeah. You would love it.
But I've heard it's awesome.
It is. It's really good. It's really okay. We both loved it. It's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I can't explain it. Half of it's in Spanish, so like there's subtitles, but half of it's in English. Fred Armisen's in it.
Armisen's in it, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely worthwhile. If you liked his thing there, like he's kind of famous.
Oh, I loved it. I love this movie. It's great.
He's kind of famous because he wrote this bit for Saturday Night Live about a wishing well that you could buy for toddlers that they could just look into. It's like, is your toddler thoughtful and maybe not so outgoing? Why don't you get him the wishing well? And then it just shows toddlers looking down, and it's like,
well, that's one of the bits in this movie because he's wanting to design toys, and one of them is a Cabbage Patch doll that posts on social media, but it's only about like their inner desires, and like it's just very like adult humor for kids in these toys, and I love it. It's very strange, but yeah, it's cute. Yeah. That's it. No unplugs.
Hey.
Oh, I would say wasps and hornets.
Okay.
I'm not into them.
The insects?
And they're starting to show up. Yeah.
Or white Anglo-sex.
No, there's like, I had this beef with a wasp this week. He kept trying to build nests under one of our patio chairs, and I sprayed the shit out of him with this. It's like a natural hornet killing spray or whatever I got on Amazon, but it stained part of the deck, so I got to figure that out.
You get for using that vegan hornet killer.
That's right.
I
know, I fucked up. God damn it.
Just buy the stuff that just,
Yeah, the stuff that the stuff that like you spray it and suddenly it comes out like a fire hose, like you know what I'm talking about?
That was the stuff, guys. I literally, and I wasn't even pressing it that hard. It just shot forever and it wouldn't stop. And I was like, oh my God, this is way too much.
That is quite
I wanted to kill him, but not like murder the fuck out of him.
Well, you should probably go for murder the fuck because,
nobody
wants an angry hornet.
No, I did not want him coming back at me. No. So, yeah.
Well, anyway. Was this long enough for you, everybody?
I think we're good. I think we're good. Making up for last time.
Yeah, we are. Way to go, guys.
Good show, guys.
Yeah. Well done.
That's a good show.
We will be back next week because I don't think any of us are traveling or anything.
Yeah, no, I think we're good.
I am, actually. I'm going to Kirksville. But I'm bringing my laptop so we can do it from there for sure. This won't be like a Vegas thing. Like, hey, we can do it. It never happens. I'll have time.
We knew you were hydrating. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We won't worry as much with you in Kirksville as we did in Vegas. Like, yeah, we'll just be the
That's fair. That's fair.
For a couple days. We'll just assume you're reading a book, I guess.
That's right, yeah.
It's not far from it. All right. Always a pleasure,
All right.
guys.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.